What's up everybody, my name is Joseph Charles Masayo, and for today's video, I will be discussing about the basic concept of simple interest. So in this video, I will be tackling about what is simple interest, the terminologies that we will encounter, and lastly how to solve word problems involving simple interest. So let's start. First things first, what is simple interest? So simple interest is computed using either actual or approximate time. For every financial transaction, whether you borrowed or invested a certain amount of money, a corresponding percentage of principal is being paid. Simple interest on the amount you borrowed or invested is computed based on principal, interest rate, and length of time for which the money is borrowed or invested. So let's proceed to our next discussion, which are the terminologies that we will encounter in this part. First is interest. Interest is denoted as big letter I. It is the payment for the use of borrowed money or amount earned on invested money. Second is principal. Principal is denoted as big letter P. It is the amount you borrowed or invested. Third is rate of interest. It is denoted as small letter R. It is a fractional part of principal that is paid on loan or investment. Fourth is time. It is denoted as small letter T. It is the number of years for which the money is borrowed or invested. And lastly, final amount or maturity value. It is denoted as big letter F. It is the sum of the principal and the interest you earned within the period. Now, let's move on to our word problems involving simple interest. So our first word problem is, John wants to finance his new online business. He borrowed 90,000 pesos from his friend with an agreement to pay the amount together with the interest at the end of 3 years and 7 months at 4% interest rate. How much will John pay his friend? Obviously, in this problem, we are looking for the final amount. So the first step that we must do is identify the given values. Our principal is 90,000, our interest rate is 0.04, and our time is 3.58 years or 3 and 7/12 years. After that, we must address the problem. But first, our formula for this is final amount equals the principal multiplied by the quantity of 1 plus RT. Then, we must substitute the given values. As a result, it will be 90,000 multiplied by the quantity of 1 plus 0.04 times 3.58. Then, we must multiply the values within the parentheses. So, we multiply 0.04 and 3.58 and add them to 1. So, if we multiply the 0.04 and 3.58 years, it will become 0.1432 and add 1 to get 1.1432, and finally we must multiply it to the principal, which is 90,000. Therefore, 90,000 times 1.1432 is equal to 102,888. So John has to pay his friend 102,888 pesos. So for our next problem, Yula invested a certain amount of money in a bank. The bank paid her after 3 years with an interest of 4%. If the interest paid by the bank was 60,000, calculate the amount of money Yula invested. So for this specific problem, we are tasked to find the principal. So first thing, as usually we do, is we find the given values. So for our interest, it is 6,000, our rate of interest 0.04, and our time is 3 years. After that, we must find the formula. So the formula that we will use in this problem is principal equals to interest over rate of interest times time. Now that we know the formula that we must use, we must now substitute the given value. So it would now become 6,000 over 0.04 times 3. So first thing we need to do is to multiply the rate of interest and the time. So it will become 0.12, and after that, We can now calculate the value of principal by dividing 6,000 to 0.12, which will lead us to 50,000. Therefore, Yula invested 50,000 pesos in the bank. So for our third and last problem, how much interest will Michael earn in his investment of 5,000 pesos at 3% simple interest for 2 years? So for this problem, we are tasked to find the interest. So again, we must find the given value. So for our principal, it is 5,000. Our rate of interest is 0.03 and our time is 2 years. The formula that we will use in this problem is interest equals to principal multiplied by rate of interest times time. Now that we know the formula, let's substitute the given. So it will become 5,000 times 0.03 times 2, which will give us 300. Therefore, Michael's investment will earn an interest of 300 pesos in 2 years.